My name is Evelyn Carter. I'm 68 years old, and people like my son-in-law, Marcus, have always assumed that age automatically means weakness, silence, and blind trust. But the night I exposed him at our family dinner, I proved exactly why underestimating an old woman was the biggest mistake of his life. For months, I had been watching him with quiet eyes, the way he controlled my daughter Hannah's every move, monitored her calls, demanded she consult him before making any decision, and even tried to dictate how much time she could spend with me. Hannah had always been independent, strong, full of confidence, but ever since marrying Marcus, she had become hesitant, anxious, always checking her phone like she was afraid of missing something. I had seen women fall into this kind of emotional cage before, and I knew the signs. Marcus always disguised his control as protection, his manipulation as concern, and his surveillance as love. He thought he was being subtle. He wasn't, but the moment he made the mistake of treating me like a burden, talking down to me in my own daughter's home, I realized something. This man wasn't just controlling, he was hiding something far bigger, something that made him desperate to keep power. So I stayed quiet, observed, collected small clues, and waited for the right moment, the moment when his own arrogance would hand him over to me. And that moment came sooner than he expected. It started the night I stopped by their house unannounced with a basket of Hannah's favorite homemade muffins. Marcus opened the door, looked at me like I was an inconvenience, and said, "Next time, call first. We have a schedule." A schedule? For a daughter visiting her own mother? His tone wasn't annoyed, it was authoritative. That told me everything. Hannah came rushing behind him, trying to act normal, but her eyes were tired, scared, pleading without words. I hugged her and told her I wouldn't stay long, but Marcus made a point to hover behind her like a shadow. While Hannah and I talked in the kitchen, his phone kept buzzing, not with texts, but with alerts from a financial app I recognized instantly, large withdrawals, frequent transfers, and notifications he tried to hide each time. He angled the screen away from me, but it was too late. I had already seen one transaction labeled offshore holding. My heart sank. My mind sharpened. This wasn't normal. And if he was willing to hide money behind my daughter's back, what else was he hiding? That night I went home and started connecting dots. Marcus had suddenly pressured Hannah into selling her old car, claiming they needed simplicity, even though the car was fully paid off. He insisted on handling all their finances alone. He had recently told Hannah she didn't need her separate savings account because married couples share everything. Hannah, being sweet and trusting, agreed. He had even tried convincing me to hand over some of my retirement funds to invest for my future. I politely refused, but his disappointment had been obvious. Now the financial alerts I saw made perfect sense. Marcus was funneling money somewhere, and fast. And he wanted every woman around him financially dependent, including me. That night I decided to visit the bank the next morning to check something I had been wondering about. And thank God I did, because the moment I walked into my bank and asked them to verify my accounts, the manager informed me that someone had attempted to access my information online twice in the last month. Someone who had my full name, birthday, and address. Someone who thought I wouldn't notice. Someone who underestimated me. I didn't need a detective to know who that someone was, but I didn't confront him yet. No, I waited. Because exposing a snake too early only makes it hide deeper. I needed proof, undeniable, ironclad proof that even my daughter couldn't ignore. So I called my lawyer, a longtime family friend, and together we began digging. Marcus's financial records revealed something explosive. He was already under quiet federal investigation for tax evasion from before he married Hannah. Worse, he had opened 2 credit lines under Hannah's name without her knowing. My hands shook, not with fear, but with rage. He was planning to drag my daughter down with him. And if he succeeded, she could lose everything. Her credit, her savings, her freedom. I knew then that whatever he thought he was doing, I had to stop it, and I had to do it in a way Hannah could finally see the truth clearly. That opportunity came when Hannah called me, voice trembling, asking if I could come to dinner that Friday because Marcus wanted to clear some things. I almost laughed. This man truly believed he still had control. I simply said, "Of course, sweetheart. I'll be there." And I was with a folder in my purse that would change everything. Dinner was uncomfortable from the start. Marcus sat at the head of the table like a king, expecting respect, obedience, gratitude. He made a show of telling Hannah what she needed to improve, complaining about her spending $15 on a lunch with coworkers, demanding she limit visits with me because they disrupted the household routine. I watched him with a calm smile, letting him talk, letting him dig his grave deeper with every smug word. When he finally turned to me and said, "Evelyn, you really should trust me with your finances. People your age aren't good with technology," I decided he was finished. I set down my fork, folded my hands, and said softly, "Marcus, sweetheart, do you mind if I ask you a tiny question?" He smirked. "Of course." I leaned forward. "How's the offshore account doing?" His face drained of color. The smirk vanished. Hannah looked confused. "Mom, what offshore account?" Marcus stuttered. I don't know what she's talking about." I opened my purse and placed the folder on the table, sliding it toward my daughter. "Sweetheart," I said gently, "you need to see something." She opened it slowly. Documents. Printouts of transactions, proof of credit lines opened in her name, screenshots from the investigation records, and the attempted access to my accounts. Her hands began to shake. "Marcus, what is this?" His eyes darted everywhere, searching for a lie that could save him. But there wasn't one left. Still, he tried. "She's lying? She forged this? She's trying to turn you against me?" My voice was steady as steel. "Marcus, these are government-issued documents. I didn't forge anything. But you did." He lunged toward the folder, but Hannah pulled it close to her chest. Then I said the words that finally broke him. "And before you lie again, you should know my lawyer is waiting outside." The look on his face, priceless. He exploded, yelling, cursing, screaming that we were ruining his life. And then, in his rage, he confessed everything. Every transaction. Every debt, every lie, right there at the dinner table. He exposed himself completely, too blinded by panic to stop. My lawyer walked in just in time to record the end of his meltdown. Hannah cried, but not from confusion, from clarity. From finally seeing the truth? She kicked him out that night. She filed for divorce. She pressed charges. And for the first time in years, I saw my daughter breathe freely. As for me, I learned something important too. Being older doesn't make you weak. It makes you wise, patient, strategic. People like Marcus forget that age doesn't remove strength. It refines it. My son-in-law thought I was fragile, harmless, naive, but that night at dinner, I reminded him exactly whose family he tried to mess with. And I made sure he'll never underestimate an old woman again.